9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is it a banger?
Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Market Report here on Piper Academy. Guys, we've got a show lined up today looking at Bitcoin, some critical levels that it needs to hold, but also we've got a special guest going to be coming in talking about KAS mining, some questions that were asked by the community in the alumni Discord, and we're going to be talking to him, breaking out those questions, getting those answers, and a little bit of hopium for you. Got a little bit of hopium. So, guys, without any further ado, let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper, and this is the show where we come at you every morning here on Piper Academy, giving you guys what you need to know in the markets and the charts and the economic data. And we got a lot to unravel today. So today's show going to be a little long, but guys, I promise, hang in there. We're going to get through it. And without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring up my co-host today. We got the OC guy in the house here. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? You're muted. You're muted. That you need a microphone for that.
I do. Sometimes I do forget about that. So I'm doing fantastic. I'm pumped about today. Seems like we have had a couple of retracements. And as you mentioned, I think Bitcoin is on critical levels. I do expect it to maybe move a little bit slightly below that and then a little pump after it. I don't think it's going to be a long-lasting pump, but it remains to be seen.
Now I'm muted. No, I'm messing with my audio here. We had a little rough start off this morning getting everybody in. So, yeah, I'm watching this pullback. There is a critical level that we're going to be showing on the chart for Bitcoin. But, guys, if you are in here right now, go ahead and smash that like button because we have very, very low viewer count right now, which I find kind of interesting considering what just happened with the good friend show of ours, the Investing Bros, yesterday. So, kind of interesting that our algorithm is so shut down also on our end. So guys, you can fight that by smashing that like button. It would help us immensely. So OC, we're going to get into the news because we got to get Dominik up here. The beginner's blockchain is in the house with us today, and he's going to be answering some questions for the community. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the morning market report, get all this data out to the people, and then hopefully we've got some more viewers by the time that we get around to Dominik because little interesting on those numbers today. I will not lie. So does that sound good to you? That sounds good to me. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yes.
Let's go. There we go. All these new buttons I got, guys, on this travel setup. Sorry about that. Yeah, guys, looking here at the fear and greed right now, sitting at 48 on the fear. Bitcoin dominance is at 54.4%, up to 54.4%, up 0.37% there. Man, imagine if it was up 54.4%. Jeez Louise. Everything else went to zero. It's only Bitcoin. Volume for 24 hours, guys, up about 24.6%. A lot of that being sell-off. Market cap has dropped 2.37%, currently coming in at about $2.2 trillion here. Let's jump over to the crypto bubbles. Take a look. You can see here on the daily quite a bit of red. You do have AKT up 6.4%. HNT, which we're actually going to talk about today also when we're talking about KAS mining. HNT up there about 1.7%. Let's go down here and just take a look at Bitcoin, see what it's doing. Bitcoin is sitting at $62,349 right now, up a little bit on the hourly. I'm looking over here at the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, and they are actually opening red, but it does look like on the hourly here, Bitcoin up about 0.1%. Not a huge amount, nothing special there, but Ethereum up the same amount there. Both of them, though, down on the daily there. Bitcoin down 2%, Ethereum down 3.8%. Let's move down here, just take a look and see the other movers here. Solana up 0.9%, almost a full percent in the past hour, down 3% on the daily. And then if we go a little bit further down here, XRP up 1.2%. It's actually doing quite well on the hourly right now in comparison to Solana and others. Let's look here. Toncoin, guys. Toncoin down 1.8% yesterday. And you guys are all tracking what happened with Toncoin. I told you I entered a long. I had to ladder in a little bit more at some lower levels. It was not, I did not catch the bottom, but that's okay. I had a low leverage, good risk management on that, for low leverage on that. And then I've also got some more dry powder to ping into that trade as I need to, because I do believe that Toncoin is going to bounce back up. People tend to forget very quickly out there. Cardano is up 0.3%. 0.3% there on the hourly, down 2.2 on the daily, and then we'll round it out with Avalanche here. Avalanche up 0.2% on the daily, down 3.3. I do want to see Caspa here, because we're going to be talking about it in a bit. Not too bad. Down 0.8%, not as much as some of the other stuff on the daily, and doing pretty decent, sitting at about 16.7 cents. So let's jump into liquidation, see what's been happening here on these liquidations. Can you go back for me? Thank you very much. Let's do that. Let's look here. 24 hours, guys. It's been $127.8 million in liquidations across 61,563 traders. Total liquidations there for that is mostly in your longs. So longs getting wrecked there. You can see that right there. And then the largest single liquidation order happened on OKX with Ethereum, valued at $2 million. Again, I don't know. It seems like they keep getting liquidated for that same amount. I don't know if there's a glitch in here or somebody keeps making the same mistake over and over and over. It's like going, you know what? Eventually it's going to pop off. Yes, eventually it will, but stop getting liquidated, bro. Let's go and check out the economic calendar, guys. Let's take a look and see what we have here. S&P Schiller's home prices today, guys, and we're going to talk about some home prices. I got an article on housing, and I've got a little X post on X Marks the Spot talking about big decrease that they're seeing on housing prices. Well, not a big one, but the first one we've had in a long time, 2020. Let's go with that one. But S&P home prices actually came in today a little while ago. They came in at 6 a.m. my time. That would be 9 a.m. on the East Coast. So about 30 minutes ago, this data came in. Previously was at a full 1%, forecasted to be 1%, actually came in at 0.6%. So there you go. Home decreasing month over month on those prices. And then looking at the year over year was at 6.9%. Consensus was 6, forecast to be 6.4, came in at 6.5. So the year over year they thought was going to be a little bit lower than what it was, but it's still lower than what it previously was in the year. So we are seeing a decrease in housing prices. Today, guys, we get CB Consumer Confidence report that's going to be coming in, and then we're going to be getting the API crude oil stock changing. I am actually expecting that is going to be down quite a bit, and you can see that there. That's what they're calling for also. And then Fed Waller from the Reserve is going to be doing a speech. Let's take a look at the rest of the week here, guys. Big one, going to be right here, Thursday, GDP. If you guys remember, GDP is an indicator of recession, right? It's this economy strength, and when you have two negative GDP quarters, blah blah blah, it used to be that was a recession. Hey, we can fix that with the stroke of a pen at the White House, and get some experts to make some comments, and then bam, there we go. We get a new GDP ratio, but right now it looks like the GDP is going to be doubled there for the second quarter. Was previously at 1.4%. They now think it's going to be 2.8%. So that would be a good sign of economic strengthening. Now, mind you, we know those numbers are not always accurate. They come back and do revisions. Got to be careful what I say here. But we also know that the market investors, big investment, TradFi guys, they do operate on the sentiment of these numbers, whether we believe that they are accurate or not. So going to be watching closely. Could get a nice move on Thursday off of that GDP. And then lastly, guys, Friday, it's going to be a big one. Core PCE. Now, let me explain something to you here. We're going to get core PCE, okay? Previously at 0.2%, consensus going to be static, right? And then we're going to get personal income, personal spending, and then the indexes for all of this stuff. All this data is looking to be either static or a little bit better. I want to come over here and talk about why this matters on Friday. This is the biggest indicator that the Federal Reserve looks at when they cut rates, raise rates, stay neutral, whatever, pause, right? So this is coming out on Friday. Big things like this in the economy cause a lot of volatility in the markets. But you've also got the situation where Monday, the following week, is Labor Day. And so we're very likely to see, because there's a 3-day weekend with no market open on Monday, an excessive amount of volatility on Friday. And I'm going to be curious to see how this PCE plays out. We could get a really good pump if people go, you know what, we got a long weekend. This data was good. Friday is the day that I'm looking for a pump. So I just wanted to get that out there to you guys and talk about that. Let's jump back over into the economic data, and we'll continue on here, guys. X marks the spot. Sorry. Let's see here. Just in, NASDAQ is seeking. So there's some big news here on X marks the spot today, guys. NASDAQ is seeking SEC approval for Bitcoin index options there. Options trading, guys. Options trading is a big thing in the stock world, okay? And so now them looking at what they want to do here with this, getting an options for Bitcoin indexes for NASDAQ so that they can do a Bitcoin ETF options call. That's going to be a big thing, and that's going to add a lot of speculative liquidity into the market there. That's a hard word to say at this time in the morning. You guys don't know. It's like I have to get up at like 5 a.m. For the show over here. I went back a whole nother time zone over here, but I'm going to make it. We're going to get through it. All right. Also, continuing on here, guys. Yesterday, this happened. Rect Capital put this out, and you guys don't know the Pi cycle. Crux talks about the Pi cycle all the time. Something big happened yesterday. I want to come over here and find this newsletter. There it is. This is a newsletter that Rect Capital puts out free. It's a really good newsletter, guys. But if you jump in here, he was talking here about, for the first time, Bitcoin broke into a reaccumulation range. One of those instances showcased normal technical activity. This is why technically Bitcoin could do the same this time around. Granted, Bitcoin doesn't need to, but it would be entirely healthy and most definitely technically sound if it were to happen. Talking about breaking out of that range low. Generally, whether a pullback happens from here is contingent on the Pi cycle moving average retest failing, guys. And here's that moving average from the Pi cycle indicator. We broke below it. Now, mind you, we have pulled a wick up now on it, but this is not good. If we close this on a higher time frame beneath that Pi cycle indicator, we could be looking at more downside. So I just wanted to show that one. And then earnings, guys. Tomorrow's the big day. Look right there, NVIDIA, and that is why we're seeing a lot of market sell-off, I do believe. I told you guys last week, we talked about this, that more than Jerome Powell's speech at Jackson Hole, it was going to be the NVIDIA earnings that had more sway on the markets. And what we are seeing is that markets have been selling off this whole week, despite not being any real bad data or anything like that, all coming in on NVIDIA's earnings. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon after the market closes. So all eyes on that one. Let's go back and see if there's anything else that X marks the spot, and then we'll come back and check out the chat. Yeah, this is it on the housing right here. Breaking. U.S. monthly mortgage payments marked their first annual decline since 2020. The median mortgage payment fell by 0.1% year over year to $2,587 over the last 4 weeks, according to Redfin. So that is what we were just talking about there. And then I got a quick article here on home buyers gearing up for mortgage rate drops this fall. What to know after the housing market shifts. And looking down here, guys, home buyers are gearing up for that. We've been talking about this. Rates are coming, rate cuts are coming, which means that we're probably going to see those mortgage rates start to come down. However, according to this article, guys, they think that the rate cuts are going to happen slower than you think. All right, as far as mortgage rates off of those rate cuts. So here's what they can expect. They will likely decline gradually. Though mortgage rates have fallen since their peak in October 2023, they're still way above the 2022 lows of around 3%. In other words, the roller coaster ride isn't over. The drop has occurred largely as a result of encouraging signs that the inflation is easing and that the Fed Reserve will be cutting those Fed fund rates in September. The Fed has been raising interest rates since 2022. We know, we have felt it. Thank you very much. But don't expect a radical overnight change. And a lot of people starting to watch and get hungry. They're chomping at the bit. They want to get into those houses quickly, and they're going to be sadly mistaken when they realize that it is not going to drop as quickly as they think. Let's jump over here to DuoCam. And let's take a look at OC housing prices here in the U.S. I don't know. Have you guys seen how much flush out have you guys seen in Mexico with housing being more expensive lately, or is it relative to what we have in the U.S. at all? You're muted still, bro.
Oh my God, that just had to do a team here. I was saying that we have some sort of things happening. In fact, it is kind of like a counterintuitive because we have had, for example, in the center of the country at Mexico City, a huge increase of American people coming in and staying in the premium zones of Mexico, also in what we call magic towns, right? So we've been seeing housing prices just exploding to the upside, and that is because usually the main income on the states is way above the main income on Mexico, right? And when you get when you retired, well, then you can come here and increase your level of life in Mexico. So while the prices of houses are changing and variating there, especially when they start getting higher in the states, we are seeing a higher demand here, and also the prices of houses of, let's just say, premium zones, they're just exploding like crazy. But if we go to some other areas, suburban areas, where there's no that much of a demand, and there are like a new construction, new house buildings, we start seeing some stall of prices. Not a constant increase, but they're just being like not moving up or down. They're just being flat at this point. And I think it's because the market is still indecisive. And we also have that, we call it centrification, where when American people or all across the northern people comes to Mexico, the people that used to live on those areas, they rather sell the properties, right, for a better life-changing money, and then get another house at the, at the outside of the city. And I think that is making that balance. But is it like I like the states? I would say not exactly, but we are absolutely reacting of what the state is going through.
Awesome. Appreciate that info. All right, so shout out to everybody in the chat right now. I'm just over here looking through the chat, and I appreciate that input. Guys, how's the volume on this mic? I did a little bit of changes. I know yesterday we had some volume issues, so are we pretty even right now on the volume? Let me know that in the chat. And then also, we got some more people in here watching now. So, guys, welcome to the Morning Market Report. Little reset here. This is the morning show. We bring you guys looking at the economy and the markets and Bitcoin, stock market open, all that good data, all that good jazz. But welcome everybody that is coming into the show, and good morning to everybody in there. I love my alumni. You know I do.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
Let's go take a look real fast, OC, at the Bitcoin chart. And I want to talk first about what's going on with Bitcoin mining, because this is going to line right directly into what we're going to talk about with Dominik in a moment. He's backstage right now, waiting to come out, sitting in the green room waiting for us. So let's jump over and take a look at this article. Guys, this is Bitcoin mining sector is in consolidation. What they're talking about here is that basically they haven't gone into capitulation. They're in consolidation. What are we seeing on Bitcoin right now? Consolidation. That's what we're continuing to follow with. But it says miners want to secure large data center capacity with access to low-cost power and capital. That's what they need. But the Bitcoin mining sector, being in the middle of this wave of M&A, they said the miners want that secure, large data center capacity with access to low-cost power, which Buck just talked about this yesterday. The effect of miner concentration is yet to be seen. So we don't know how this is going to play out. But as of right now, we can see that the price pretty much staying pretty much in line, in lock and step with the miners. It's just in that consolidation phase. The Bitcoin mining sector is in the middle of a consolidation phase triggered by the recent halving. The strategic driver is to secure large and scalable data center capacity with access to low-cost power and capital, all made easier as the company gets larger. So Bitfarms' planned acquisition of Stronghold Digital Mining, SDIG, that's evidence of that recent trend. They're trying to consolidate, get more space. Hey, you already got this built? Let me get my hands on that. The deal is noteworthy as Bitfarms was subject to an unsolicited takeover offer from Riot Platforms back in May, and then Riot has since bought 19% of Bitfarms stock in the open market. That is called a hostile takeover that they're attempting there, folks. Still, hostile M&A can be tricky, and the report cautioned that such deals are usually in technology and financial service businesses. So we're seeing this go on right now with mining, and let's go ahead and bring up Dominik onto the stage. Come on up here, Dominik. Welcome to the Morning Market Report on Piper Academy. One of the surviving channels of the YouTube censorship model. But how you doing today, man? Dominik, you're frozen, bro. You are frozen. You are just staring at the screen. We're gonna let Dominik get reset here, and then he'll get reset, and then we'll come back to him. He had a little freeze there on his end. Either that or he was intently studying everything that I had to say. But let's go over and check out the Bitcoin chart, because we were just talking about that we are in lockstep with the miners. Let's go to Bitcoin market cap first. I want to show you guys this dominance. It has absolutely continued to push up here, and you can see we have this blue line here. This blue line is coming off of the delta of the predictive ranges here. Typically, it likes to trade bottom, top support, and then that's your 50% line there on the predictive ranges there. This is part of Chart Prime's Market Dynamics Pro set, but right now, that is our resistance for dominance there, and we're watching that pullback as we talked about earlier. That dominance continuing to go up and go strong. Let's move on down here, and let's just take a look at Bitcoin itself, and let's talk about what's going on with this price. Because we had a box here yesterday, a T box. Shout out to TA Tim. Let me pull it up here. Let's pull that in. Is that the one? No, that is. You are not the one, sir. That is right there. We were sitting above this T box for support, and this was the range that I was watching. I said, look, guys, we're doing pretty good right here. Not bad on that point. But we do have this delta coming in, another delta right there. That is the dynamic, the predictive ranges coming in off of the Market Dynamics Pro. Okay. I said, if we hold this, we should be good. If not, we could be heading down, and I talked about this level right here. This is the dynamic reactor here on Chart Prime, and that is the level that I'm going to be watching for support. That level right now is coming in at 61,299. You can see right here we touched it and got a good bounce on it. If we come back to retest this, it would also be theoretically in line with my range here that I've been talking about, which is this previous resistance over here. So all of this would be pretty well lined up for a bounce there. Previous resistance, now support, dynamic reactor coming in. But one thing that I put out in the newsletter yesterday, guys, I did on the go TA off my phone, and shout out to anybody that read that. It was hard to do all of that on my little phone. I said, look, guys, we do have a pump indicator on the prophecy. You can see right here, prophecy indicator says pump. That is what this indicator is telling us here also. But when we look at this and we look at the quantum reactor right here, guys, this quantum reactor, it will not turn red until there's other bullish narratives in the chart, in the algorithm. Well, it won't turn green until there's other bullish narrative in the charts also. So right now, we're waiting for this to turn green. This means nothing until this turns green. So I'm hoping to see that we get down here and get a bounce, and that is enough for this to start to curve again. And then this quantum reactor goes, all right, all systems go. Let's get it, right? Leroy Jenkins in this place. What I'm seeing on the oscillator, though, guys, is looking a little, telling us a little bearish scenario here. One thing, I'm going to point them all out here for you. We are stepping down on the True 7. Okay, and this still can go all the way down to here before it triggers these really bright pinks that you see right there, right there, right there. Okay, so when that happens, that means that 7 points of confluence have triggered saying, hey, okay, this is a bottom, right? We still got more room to go down on that. So first of all, there's that. Secondly, this green wave right here, this is money flow index, and money flow is coming down. It does look like it's starting to flatten out a little bit, so that could be a little dose of hopium for you. But as of right now, it is in a downward angle. Lastly, this cloud down here on the bottom. You see how it's green here? It starts to go a little grayed out here, and sometimes it even goes into negative, right? That is negative volume. You guys see what is happening right here? Let me grab that. There we go. Right there. It is turning that pinkish red color, guys. We are actually going negative on volume, negative on money flow. All of those 7 indicators on the True 7 all coming to the downside also at the same time as the ribbon is coming in. Now, this is refreshing everything while we really just maintain sideways movement. And that's fine with me. But if we lose, if this all starts coming down and we don't get a bounce off of this level that we just talked about here, then we could be setting up for this to pull up as we consolidate and bear flag down lower and lower and lower. If we do that, I'm actually watching for about 58.5 to about $59,000 being the support range on Bitcoin. That's what I'm seeing there. Let's jump over, and I do believe that we have finally gotten Dominik back in the house again. What's up, Dominik? How you doing, man?
What's up? Can you hear me now?
Yep, we're good, bro. We're good.
Okay. Perfect. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. So we just talked about Bitcoin miners in consolidation, right? We just showed the price. What's your current thoughts on what's going on with the miners right now? We're going to specifically talk Bitcoin first before we get into KASPA. But what is your mindset on what's going on with the miners? The price action as a stock has been, up and down. It's really shaky right now. But of course, Bitcoin's price has been really shaky right now, right? So, but as far as their performance, all of the nuts and bolts of what goes into a mining facility. Not my wheelhouse. So I'm going to ask you as the subject matter expert on this. How are you feeling about the miners right now? Are they doing okay? Are they in a good spot? What's going on with that?
Well, right now we are seeing that Bitcoin mining is not favorable at all for the home miner. We are seeing large companies kind of buy up buildings with cheap power, and they'll buy top of line equipment, or they'll even be able to run old miners like the S19J Pros or some of those and still be profitable at 3 or 4 cents. It's just not worth it really anymore for a regular person at home to buy a miner that's 5 or 10 grand. Then it's not very profitable.
Okay, no, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of smaller companies getting bought up very hard by these big mining companies because they're about the only ones that really can afford to do it. Plus, they have the lending power or borrowing power to really be able to leverage loans against their Bitcoin, stuff like that most home miners would not have, and that's how they're getting through all of that. So, So yeah, you're seeing the same thing that we're actually seeing on the opposite side. Why are the mining companies growing even though they're not making any money? It's because right now they're growing to consolidate and grab up all of what they can from the smaller ones, and so that when we do get a movement, they can start making money. Is that pretty much what you're seeing on your end?
Yep. It's just the bigger companies are taking over, and the competition is just not there anymore for the small guys. It's
Yep, that's
more
that's
home
it.
miners moving. Yeah, we're just moving more into altcoins now, like KASPA or Litecoin and Dogecoin. Not as much Bitcoin anymore for us.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's shift over to there. First off, I got a little bit of my vocals coming through on your end. I'm not sure if you got headphones or something over there, but I'm picking up some of that, and I don't want the viewers to hear it. But let's get over into KASPA mining, and let's talking about that, because we had a bunch of questions that came to you from our community asking about KASPA mining in particular. And when I reached out to you, you was like, yeah, I can answer all those questions. Let's do that. So let's look here at what these questions were real fast. And I'm going to go ahead and pull them up on my end. I'm sure you have them also. But the first question that someone asked you about this was, let me get it here. Let me get it here. Got to pull it up here. There we go. The first question that they asked you about on this topic was, they said, how do you calculate the return on power consumption versus mined crypto? So like when you have the X amount of energy used to get into to mine versus the valuation, do you look at it and go, you know what, this is going to be worth more down the road, it's okay that it cost me more now, it's all playing out? Or do you immediately calculate that? Like, what's your thoughts on that with KASPA, at least?
Worry too much about the current profitability dollar wise, I look more at how many coins I'm getting. So I'll go to just a simple electric calculator and plug in however many watts I'll be using and see, okay, I'm going to be spending maybe $5 a day on electric, $10 a day on electric, but I'll be making maybe 150 coins. So I think all of us kind of have an idea of where we think the price can go on a project that we like. So we aren't too stressed out when the profitability goes down a little bit, and we might not be all the way in the green by, for example, on the KS5L I just got, I don't care that it went from making $20 a day to 11 because I believe in Caspa long term.
Awesome. I'm just reading the chat here. Amy Lives Crypto said no GPU profits right now. Exactly. That's pretty true. That's pretty true right there across the board. Jumping into the next question here that someone asked was, what is the best gear to get if you're going to mine Caspa? Like I know a lot of the big mining rigs, the big mining companies for Bitcoin, they're actually using their ASICs that they had from when they were Bitcoin mining to get into Caspa mining. Is that really what is the go-to right now in Caspa, or are there other options?
So you can't take a Bitcoin miner and turn it into a Caspa miner. Those chips are programmed to only mine.
Oh, okay.
Bitcoin.
Well, there you
So
go.
there's no way of like converting an ASIC easily into mining a bunch of different coins. It would have to be on the SHA-256 algorithm that Bitcoin mines on.
Got it.
For Caspa miners, you can mine different coins that are on that algorithm. Some people like to jump around for profitability and yield on some of those coins, but they're all just really forks of Caspa.
Okay, see, this is why I bring you on. I don't know the answers to this stuff. I had heard that they were using old ASICs and repurposing the older rigs for Caspa, and I guess that is not the case. It's a whole nother setup then, right?
Yeah, it's the chips are just, they're not programmed to run on any algorithm. They'll be programmed to only run on that algo.
Got it. Yeah, Buck just asked here in the chat. He's one of the ones that sends a lot of these questions. He said, "So you can't change out the chips? So is that correct? You can't change them out?"
I mean, I guess you could buy chips individually and somehow convert it, but
that's probably more expensive, right?
Yeah, exactly. You'll just spend more money and time trying to transition that. So you might as well just buy it.
I can imagine that. So we already answered the next one. You can't repurpose the old machine. So there you go. That one's answered. And then how long? This is the question that I want to know, because we got a big. I love my KAS. Okay, I love it. It's been a good moneymaker for me. Okay, but we got people in our chat right now that have been mining since back when you started mining KAS back at the beginning, right? And they are not too gung-ho on KAS. One of them being Retro Mike. And I love the guy and I respect him. But I think that KAS still has a little bit more money to make. But he is not wrong in the very near future of how long life is, right? I do think that KAS is going to be running into a big problem. So this question, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on it. How long will current equipment be able to keep up with the increasing hash rate, because they get that difficulty, 12 points on a yearly basis, right? How long until Caspa can't be mined because the rigs are more expensive than Bitcoin, but the price is not in line? So thoughts on that?
Well, we have seen the difficulty and hash rate go up. We're almost at 1 exahash. We're at about 906 petahash right now, I think. Then the past month, I've seen profitability coins wise basically get cut in half. So if you're buying, if you're buying the new Gen
you're breaking up on us, bro. You're wavering. Your internet's being censored
for a while. I mean, I'm still in the green at.
Okay, yeah, you broke up. Your stuff was delayed there, and you just all sped up at the end. Yes, camera's melting out. The question was, I didn't hear what the last part was there. Is it how much longer, how many years would you say Caspa has to still be profitable?
Depending on what ASIC you get, I think you can be profitable for at least till the end of this year with
Okay, into this
something
year.
like a KS5L.
That's not a good
I would
sign
say
for
end of this year
Caspa.
with some. I mean, yes, yesterday we just saw Ice River cut their ASIC prices in half to give you an idea. So a miner that would have been $5,000 is
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. So we got about till the end of the year for this to maintain its profitability. The other questions that we did have for you, because it does look like we lost you on the internet side there. Again, he's got some area issues in his area there. But it does look like he's rebooting back in, guys. But we're going to be getting those HNT, those helium questions sent over to him so that we can see how that's looking. But yeah, I think his internet's not going to allow him to finish the rest of the interview. My apologies to Buck and my apologies to him. But getting a little bit of a breakdown there on the stream side for him. So, but yeah, till the end of the year, there you go. You just heard that straight out of his mouth. Do you have your camera back up there? Dominik, and we'll bring you over here and walk you out before we hop into the TA side. Dominik, let me know in the chat, bro. I'm going to go ahead and bring up OC over here. OC, while he gets himself in here, man, yeah. Caspa only profitable to mine until the end of this year. What does that do to price when we're taking a look at how price is playing out? And you got the potential here of it not being profitable anymore, meaning people are probably not going to continue mining if the price doesn't see a rally in October, November. And then you got all of these centralized exchanges like Bitcoin, like Coinbase and Binance that haven't even gotten their hands on Caspa yet. How does that play out? Could this be the point that Caspa really does take a nosedive in price, and has Retro Mike Tech been trying to warn us the whole time?
Well, it is a complex cycle, right? I mean, remember the cycle where we talked about how to predict when we're gonna be having a bearish market on Bitcoin, right? We first see money rushing into Bitcoin moving up. Well, then we see Bitcoin stalling, then altcoin season. After altcoin season, going money out of altcoins into meme coins, and then the cycle starts all over again, right? The same thing happens with mining. I mean, guys, just for a quick review, remember I was a miner for a long time, right? And for the best or the most part of my beginners. The thing in here, it is that when we're talking about ASIC or specific algorithm mining chips, that is exactly what happens with, for example, ant miners and classical miners. They have a standard living age of around 2 to 3 years, and that's because of the cycle and revenue coins. So the point in here is, until we have a new line of miners or a new chip or a revenue income where miners can buy new things or more miners, well, then we're going to have a stable price. I do believe that the price of Caspa, as with anything else, the more miners we have, the less profitable it becomes, right? Are we on a critical point? I will say no. And that is because I believe Caspa has a ace under its sleeve. First of all, it is been designed to counteract some of the troubles that Bitcoin have, and the next one is that it did not pre-allocated any tokens before launch, and we haven't seen those big launches already on big platforms, right? So I think that they might get that hype pump back up whenever they need it as the price goes down. But yes, I do believe that we could be seeing a cycle, a dump at this point. And for me, that would be a great opportunity to start investing or getting your hands on some Caspa, or maybe doubling down. Not financial advice, because we don't know how deep would that dump be. And that also depends on the profitability that we have and security of the asset, because it is a proof of work which it is very crucial for the security of the channel. Just turn it back to Dominik and you, Piper, to keep on talk on
Yep.
talk on that.
Awesome. Yeah, and we're getting ready to get into some TA, guys. Had a request for Pith. OC, if you can go ahead and start making that list for us, we're going to look at Pith and then continue on with some TA. But yeah, let's finish this up here, Dominik, and welcome back. Welcome back again.
Yeah,
so
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great. So yeah, it's looking like based on what you're saying that and Retro Mike even added to this that it might not be profitable for very much longer to keep holding KAS, because as I was telling OC that you while you were gone, like Coinbase and Binance haven't even gotten their hands on KAS yet. How are if this mining is going to get this difficult and it's not going to be profitable, no one's going to want to do it. And then on top of that, Retro Mike piped in here on the chat and said, it's not just the rapid emissions. We're seeing new KAS miners getting released every 3 months. By the time you pre-order and get what you need, it's already borderline obsolete and inefficient because of the rapid growth time. So, yeah, guys, KASPA could be in trouble, especially if we're looking at this whole lineup of the big central exchanges don't even have it yet. And without that exposure, does KASPA really have a big future? Could be, a very useful chain, but you might be looking at something along the lines of ADA pricing for a long time instead of the parabolic boom that we always talk about with KAS. Your thoughts on that, Dominik, and then we're going to go ahead and head over to TA. And you're in our Discord, right?
Yeah. I'm in there.
Okay. So I will tag you with Buck for those questions on HNT. And if you guys are in the Discord, he's got some questions about mining helium, which is a much more efficient mining method. So we'll make sure to connect you guys with him, with Dominik, and get those questions answered over there on the helium. But I would love to hear your input on that final question there, Dominik. Are we, is KAS... based on the need for centralized exchanges to actually be able to have KAS to sell, is it truly dependent on those major centralized exchanges? Or are we going to see, an ADA, it peaked out and now it's just this low price token that tries to do a lot of things, don't have really smart contracts too much, doesn't really do half of what it said it would do across the board. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think time will tell. Hopefully we do get on some tier 1 exchanges like Coinbase or Binance in the near future. We are seeing KRC20 in the works, so we'll be able to have smart contracts and NFTs and things like that in the future running on KASPA, which can obviously increase rewards for miners, just like when we saw ordinals on Bitcoin. Bitcoin miners' profitability was going pretty through the roof there. So if we see something like that happen on KASPA, I think some of the, current miners can be profitable for a little bit longer than anticipated. That's really the only way I see it going good for KASPA, I guess.
Yeah. One thing I will point out, that's called supply and demand. If there is a demand for it from these centralized exchanges, that does tend to squeeze price up because of the demand level for it. So keep that in mind. But if you are in profits on KAS, not financial advice, we have a whole legal disclaimer at the beginning, YouTube. If you are holding KAS and you're in profit, which you should be, unless you just bought it recently, no one's ever gone broke taking profits. So there you go. There is my wisdom for the day. Buck has one last question. He said, so the game in mining is all about power consumption cost. That's it. Like that, everything is on that, right?
I would say so. If you have, if you're running GPUs or something like that, or even ASICs, for us miners, when we have something that's new and next gen, we don't really care as much exactly what the dollar amount of profitability is, more how many coins we're able to get before everyone else kind of gets their hands on it, and it's too hard to kind of stack your bag, I guess.
Awesome.
If you are running ASICs and you're at, let's say, 10 cents or 12 cents, then you might want to be watching your electric, especially if you're paying out of pocket and not with the profits you're making. But if you are able to pay out of pocket, then you should definitely stack the coins and hold.
Awesome. Well, there you go, man. I appreciate it. We appreciate you being on. I'm going to connect you with the community members, the alumni members in our
Perfect.
Discord so that you can answer the rest of those questions for them. But we appreciate you coming on today and breaking down a little bit of cash. You opened my eyes on how I was looking at CASPA and Retro Mike. Hats off to you, bro. I am humbled by your accuracies and my inadequacy of holding CAS so long. Anyway, Dominik, we appreciate you, brother. We will have you on again, and I'll get you in touch with the guys in the Discord and get all those questions answered for the alumni, man. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you all.
Yep. All right, OC, it's time for some TA. Let's gear up, bro. Let's get some technical analysis in here. I got to go find a way to make some other money because I may have some profit funds from KAS to re-enter elsewhere. I don't know. Well, let's go look. You got Pith Up. Have you looked at that one yet? And then I also saw that we have PopCat. So do you have one of those up already?
No, but I can bring it up very quickly. So if you want me to do Pith or PopCat, whatever, it's fine for me.
Yeah, let's go to PopCat. I do want to give an update on the market. I was just talking about with you guys on Bitcoin here while you're pulling that up, and then you can go to Pith. I'll come back and I'll knock out PopCat. We should have had FD White come in today. He could have done PopCat for us. Man, this man's always looking at the chart. Let's go over here and let's check out my chart. There we go. Guys, we are coming in and continuing push down. We are at the bottom of my trade range. You guys remember this little area here that we just talked about? This was the former resistance areas. We're just now touching it, and it looks like we've got a good amount here of push off coming from the volume still, but it looks like money flow is starting to flatten, guys. I don't know. I am thinking still. I'm still watching 61,350. That area right there, $61,353 to be exact, as where we get that bounce there. But let's jump over to OC's chart, take a look at what he's seeing on his, because he's got some Pith Up, and then I'm going to come back and knock out some PopCat.
Perfect. So we have right here Pyth here, and something important that I'm seeing that we are falling below the zero line here. Not everything is lost, right, guys? Remember, I always say that it is very, very important. What is the position of the oscillator based on the zero line, right? And usually being below it tells you that we don't have enough momentum. But there's something that sometimes gets overlooked in here, and is also your strong signal, or what signal are we at in. That signal, it is from our trend mode. Remember, the trend mode, it is sometimes labeled as buy and sell, but it's referring to a trend, right? So what is the trend? That's basically giving you a cheat sheet of structure and letting you know whether we're bullish or bearish in trend wise, right? So as we can see, we have higher highs, right, and higher lows, right? So far, this is a fail of a fifth wave, I would say, of a micro fifth wave, but we still managed to make a higher high. That's why this become a failed fifth wave right here. If we're talking about sorry, I just vanished from my head. But the thing in here,
please.
is very important. Let me just. It just came to my head, helium, but it's not helium. I mean, Elliott wave. Sorry, Elliott wave. That was the name. But yeah, it's just like, all right, continue pretending never happened, right? Yeah, but I still got it at the end. It was Elliott wave, right? So a fail of a feet of an Elliott wave. So because we managed to make a final move up to the upside here. So if we draw a trend line here by grabbing these two lows right down here very quick, we can see that we are also on critical areas despite being below the zero line. And we can see the same thing happen here, going below the zero line, but still going for support and continuing upwards. And that has to do with the strong signal that we have here. So is it everything lost? No. Are we very dependent on Bitcoin? Absolutely. And everything can change in a minute. Let me just bring up a couple of my support and resistances. In this case, I have, let me just bring this to you guys, very quick our liquidity zones along with our order blocks in here, right? As you can see, we have much support in here. We could maybe start falling below this trend line just for a little bit, going inside these areas here. And if I push it a little bit, maybe between those two areas, so as long as we don't lose the 0.27, I think we can still make for a pump afterwards. But here's the deal: if I break trend line and go visit these areas, my next possible, most probable thing to happen is to back up in here and reject out of that trend line, right? Therefore, making a continuation, a lower low, a lower high on your oscillator, just like it happened here, right? But there is one breaking point in here. And by the way, if I'm going to be entering here, absolutely yes, as long as I have flip of the ribbon. But when we are getting up here, and this is the second step ahead in the market, when we're getting here, if we see pierce through the zero line instead of rejection of the zero line, well then this means this is a fake out and we're most probably going back up. Just like Piper mentioned, look at our quantum reactor. This break, it is not there yet, right? We broke above, we're still great. We broke below, we still great. So we are on the side systems, and we could be also looking at a somewhat ranging area like we saw here. I mean, if we are very picky, we could start looking at shapes at this, but at the end, it is a sideways movement that we could be seeing here on the microstructure, like we also saw somewhere around this area. So as you can see, this kind of like a repeats over and over and over, and we might be having something alike throughout this cycle here. So once again, look at Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dumps, be careful on PIPE. If Bitcoin pumps, I think you are looking at a support area, as long as we don't lose, once again, the 0.27, 0.30 area. Other than that, turn it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over here. Let's take a look at what I'm seeing on PopCat, guys. First of all, I need to explain, because I used to use these all the time. They've updated them, and they're amazing. The predictive ranges, guys. And these are based, and you can see how some of them are more narrow in between and some are more wide. This is based on the amount of momentum and volume when it broke out of these breakouts, okay? So if it breaks to the downside, it creates new ones here. If it breaks to the upside, it creates new ones here, like we see right there, okay? So I want to explain these to you because this blue line, that's your delta. That is your delta. That means that's 50% line in between these two breakout points, top and bottom, right? And so when you see these, typically, we've got this like golden pocket here in the predictive ranges. This is all from Chart Prime's Market Dynamics Pro, but I'm going to be using it here more on the show. So, you know, if you guys want to get it, you can get it. Check the link below. If you don't, just watch the show. I'm going to be using them for you. Looking here, guys, you can see that the majority of price action always plays in between these two gold lines on the predictive ranges. Here it was the delta in the gold line. Never even made it down to the bottom one. That's a very bullish thing right there when you see that, okay? But what I'm seeing now, the reason I wanted to explain all this to you is so that I can show you what's happening right now. You can see that we came in, we broke the level here. It gave us our delta. We got a bounce on the bottom channel, rejection off the top, came in, almost made it back down there, but kind of started to come back in and got its support on the delta median here. You can see there was a lot of play, and I'm looking at a 4-hour chart. You see there was a lot of rejection right here, resistance off of that top golden band. This upper band here, I call it the upper resistance, and this bottom one down here is the lower support. This is like your final stand before you get a breakout, okay? And right now we're getting a rejection off of that. Excuse me. I do believe that we are coming down here to hit the top of this, and I'm going to be watching for a retest. A couple of reasons for that here is this. If we go in and we look, we got the dynamic reactor coming in there perfectly on it. We already have a pump indicator going here, and we are about to flip this back into green here in the next 24 hours, I would say. Okay, so that would give time for the price to get down here. Let me stretch this in a little bit to show you what I'm seeing. That would get time for price here on PopCat to come down, hit this double critical support area, which is one being this the upper trade band, the upper gold band of the predictive ranges, and the other one being the dynamic reactor. Very, very key support. You can see here, resistance, 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 and when we're above it, it likes to play support, 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 okay? So That all being said, let's get rid of the brush marks, and I'll show you exactly what I would look at doing. I would be looking for a long somewhere around 59.9, 60 cents there, even. Yeah, that's going to be right there in that range. That would be a very bullish retest of the top of this for a further rise to break out of this price action. Now, if we go down and we lose this level, guys, you could be looking as low as 31 cents back down into the golden band, because remember, a majority of price action occurs inside of these golden bands here, the predictive ranges. My predictive ranges, just so you guys are tracking, I have them set. So if you guys are using Chart Prime and you want to know, my predictive ranges are set on a 12-hour chart, even though I'm looking at a 4-hour candle pattern. I'm looking at a 4-hour time frame, but I'm looking at 12-hour predictive ranges here. I do want to jump over here and show you the pump, though, here, because on the 4-hour, we had the pump indicator. This is the prophecy indicator right here, and we still haven't turned green, which we already talked about. But check a look at the 2-hour, or was it the 1 hour? It might have been, that was 2-hour. Look, pump, instantly green. When you see that, that's extremely bullish, okay? So right now, we are in a bullish stance on the 2-hour. If this comes down to that level, and this turns green not just shortly after, guys, that is where we get these big moves. You can come over here and take a look. Well, we don't have enough history here, but we can go back to the 2-hour and take a look on it. But it doesn't have a big amount of history. You can see here when we have, let me move that down, when we have this dump indicator that happened here, and then here it pulled up and went red, that's where you enter. You don't do it on this. You wait for this to confirm this, and then that's where you get your entry at, okay? Moving over here and looking for another pump where it's happened. Again, not enough history, but you guys can see the point. Here we go. Pump, green, big move, right? So I am going to be watching closely for the amount of price action gain that we can get out of this, because if we look at this one here, up to its upside guide, that was a 70% move off of these indicators. So I am seeing a good move for PopCat coming here. Looking here on the oscillator, just to give some confluence and confirm all of this. It looks like we could be getting a zero line bounce here on money flow. And it looks like the squeeze, look how low we got on the volume indicator compared to what it normally is. It's normally up here. It's all the way down here right now. I could see this getting a nice curvature up, bounce there, and then we move to the upside. Everything is really sold off big time here on the 2-hour in comparison to what price has done. So everything is reset, cooled off really well. PopCat could be getting set for another move to the upside. OC, let's kick it over to you and see what you're looking at, man.
Absolutely. I'm looking at BNB. Very quick, I just wanted to do or go over. Oh, by the way, Piper, we have BTC Port Corp giving away one membership, and it went to the beginner's blog. So seems like we have a winner, and thank you, shout out for that.
Yes.
Boom shakalaka!
We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you. Let's go jump back into your chart. BC Port Corp, thank you, man. We appreciate you, man. That was awesome.
So I know this is not part of the request, but
wait. Retro Mike said, so sell KAS and buy PopCat. Got it. No, I would trade. I would trade PopCat. I don't know that I would buy PopCat. Not financial advice, but not a recommendation on either side of that one. So
between PopCat and Cat Girl, I think I'd rather own and hold Cat Girl, but whatever. That's up to you guys. So other than that, let's just take a look at what's happening here. And I know Binance Point, it was not a request, but I think it's fairly important because this represents one of the major brokers out there for crypto, right? Which is Binance, which has been moving fairly right now. So at this point, we can see a flat topic here, and I shift click this line to make sure that it was completely flat, and it is at this point. And then we have two measurements: the wicks bottom, candles bodies in here, and also wicks bottoms are down here, right? So as you can see, we have flat top and kind of like a broadening line right down here. So this is not such a great indicator or a great pattern that I would love to see. We are on sell signal, but something interesting is that both of those reactors are converging. And remember that I used these reactors as a buy or sell indicator. By the way, guys, it is not solely buy and sell indicator, but it's kind of like an EMA cross, right? When you see an EMA, well, you kind of like understand that you should be looking for either a buy or a sell. Not that they cross, you execute. No, right? But as we can see, going and crossing back down here, look at that. We have a retest and a very nice dumping here. When we start crossing back up in here, we start first stabilizing, and at the end of it all, we did a little bit of that upwards movement right here, right? We cross back down, and you see what I mean here. Also, we cross back up, and once again, we went upwards. So we're having this crossing here. We're above the zero line. Yes, we have a market pump, although the market pump is all the way right down here, but we still hold a consolidation score of 6 and a prime score of 5. So we're fairly neutral. What could I be assuming out of this, and the cross in here? That we could be having a retracement somewhere, maybe I would say somewhere around here. And for me, there will be opportunities to get into Binance. Because not that I like Binance, but I do still hold an account in there. And for me, it's important to always have a little bit of BNB for fees on my trades in there. So let's just bring up a couple of my support and resistances, and look at that. Very, very, very close. And I can also update this zone where I see big time support. And so you can see everything across these areas are big support. So I would say maybe some weakening action like that somewhere around these areas before we consolidate off a higher low. And of course, then if we're lucky enough, a breakthrough, retest, and off we go. So are we there yet for a trade? No, I would say maybe hold this until we have a confirmed bounce, and rather start looking for better areas for entry zone. So, and for me, that will be somewhere around 475.3 areas right there. So other than that, turning back to you, Piper, and I'll check out which other one I'm going to be taking up next.
Actually, we're at the bottom of the hour. We're all wrapped up.
Oh,
so yeah, it was a
right.
quick show, right? Guys, we're gonna go. We're gonna go ahead, but I do want to make a couple of community announcements, guys. This is a call to action for everybody out there. If you guys don't know, yesterday the Investing Bros channel got shut down by YouTube, and they do not have their home, so they are going to be doing all of their stuff on. And let me jump over here and just show you what I'm looking at here. They're doing all their content push on X. So thank you everyone for the support so far. Where's it at? Let me go into this thing. If you guys don't follow Tim Warren and T-Shroom, you guys need to. Here's Tim Warren at Tims_TA, and I'm sure most of you do, but you need to know this. But they are going to be doing their live streams and pushing all of their stuff over here on X. So you guys need to go follow them to keep supporting the show. These are great dudes, and I have nothing but love for these guys. So please go check out X on follow T-Shroom and Tim at Tims_TA. And get over there and watch their data on there so that they can continue to get that engagement and continue to put out information to you guys. So there's the call to action on that. And then secondly, tonight, guys, it's time for another round of the Billy Goat Tales. Let's get down there to it. Where is that? Givers Gain Chat and Crypto Investing Insights with Kyle Cheesemore. That is going to be tonight, 6 p.m. my time. That is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there's the call to action, guys. Follow both of them, Billy Goat Tales and Tim's TA, Tims_TA, so that you guys can continue getting Investing Bros insights over there on X until they fix that thing. If you guys haven't done it yet, go and tag the team YouTube. There's a whole thing under Tim's thing, and you guys can retweet that, quote it, and get this fixed right, because I don't think, that some things get a little political, and that might have been the reason for it. But at the end of the day, this would be like you getting a business owner that has a strip mall. You go and you get a shop and you open up your boutique, and because he don't like that you sell, products made in Mexico, because he's a patriot of America and thinks that your products that are made in Mexico shouldn't be sold there, he just shuts down your store. That shouldn't be how it is. YouTube is a business model for a lot of people, and so we need you guys to do a call to action. We appreciate you all. OC, you got anything for the people on the way out, bro?
Yes, just a little bit of maybe something that we should be looking at here on the Piper Academy. Just a possible suggestion. I might be outdated, but if I am, we should be looking at something like this. And it is written LBRY. I remember back in the day that was the on-chain YouTube like place to start having your thing. So basically, everything that you uploaded there was there for eternity. I'm not sure if that is still the case, but I think that as content creators, I mean, we put a ton of hours, knowledge, and I mean, got to know how much things we go through, right? To get you guys every single day the news and all of this. And it just with a snap of the fingers get it all lost. I think it is not fair, right? So just looking maybe open up that possibility that we could maybe look into it. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining. And a quick reminder, click that like button because if you do, well, the nightcap also will have a like button action call. If that is something that you would like to say, click that like button. A trade flight, FDY, watching it, you guys. I requested yesterday. I got ignored.
And tonight, just so you know, they've got a special guest on, and FD White won't tell us who it is. They've got to tune in to figure out who that is. So there you go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, gotta tune in to see who it is. Videos can be auto synced from YouTube to there. I do it with my channel. Retro Mike said that LBRY and JoyStream are both good options, and they can be simulcast and synced. So like we do here normally with X. Right now I don't have the greatest internet at this condo that I'm at, but when I'm at home I do simulcast on X when I do the YouTube show in the morning. So maybe we'll check out some other options there, and we'll simulcast at numerous places so that we've always got coverage and can push out the content that you guys need to know, because knowledge is profit. Guys, thanks for joining us here today. OC, thanks for being my co-host, man. You're my ride or die. You're always my wingman. Trade Fly, sometimes he's got to break off the sortie and go do his thing, so I'm glad that you're here, bro. Guys, we'll be back here tomorrow morning right here on Piper Academy with the Morning Market Report. Don't forget, go Tim's TA, at Tim's_TA. Go over there and do that call to action. And then tonight, Billy Goat Tales, get it there and watch that right after the Crypto Nightcap with the special guest, guys. Take care. Keep your charts primed. And as always, use a stop loss. Later, guys.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall off. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall off. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!